Well, guys, we need to talk about trashy Democrats, Jasmine Crockett. Now, this whole Epstein thing, guys, the Democrats are falling apart on this. Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat. And so far, guys, the only people that are actually looking bad in this Epstein thing is Democrats. Rep Plaskett from the Virgin Islands texting with Jeffrey Epstein, who was already a convicted pedo, folks. He was feeding her questions that she asked on that panel. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, guys. Hakeem Jeffries. They were actually trying to get Epstein to have a dinner with him or something like that, donate to him. Yeah, Epstein was a Democrat, folks. Now, Jasmine Crockett, man, I really do hope, guys, that she actually runs for the Democrat nomination for the Senate in 2026 here in Texas. Because there's no way, I believe, folks, that a red state like Texas would vote in a radical left-wing communist lunatic like her. She's going to get wiped out. So I really do hope that she actually does run. Because, folks, I believe the embarrassment would be epic. Absolutely epic. No way Texas is going to vote for her. But if she becomes a Democratic nominee, that tells you everything you need to know about the Democratic Party. And this woman, man, she's a fraud. She is a complete fraud. She tries to act like she's from the ghetto, like she's from the hood. She's from Missouri. She's not even from Texas. And she went to private school. But in her district, she has to try and act hood to actually make it seem like she grew up the way those people actually grew up in her district. Nah. It's all an act, folks. All an act. But anyway, when it comes to Epstein, guys, Jasmine Crockett actually got on the congressional floor and started spreading lies. She brought up the name of Lee Zeldin, a Republican, and said that Jeffrey Epstein donated to him. Yeah. But the thing is, guys, that's not the Jeffrey Epstein. It's actually a doctor, a different doctor. And this doctor donated to Lee Zeldin after Jeffrey Epstein was already dead. But she brought that up on the congressional floor, folks, to, I guess, send a signal to her dumb voters that, hey, we don't think you're smart. So I'm just going to tell you that Jeffrey Epstein donated to Lee Zeldin and other Republicans as well. But it's not that Jeffrey Epstein, folks. It's not. And Caitlin Collins on CNN, boy, gonna have some words here with Jasmine Crockett. She was definitely misleading the people. However, Jasmine Crockett is still defending this, guys, and it's pretty bad. Let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go. Right over here. Jasmine Crockett defends claim Lee Zeldin took Jeffrey Epstein donations, even though it was a totally different Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. There's more than one person named Jeffrey Epstein. You know, just like there's more than one person named John Smith or whatever. Okay? She knew exactly what she was doing, folks. In case you guys have not heard what she said, this is the clip right here. And by the way, Lee Zeldin right here says, yes, Crockett, a physician named Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who is a totally different person than the other Jeffrey Epstein, donated to a pride campaign of mine. No freaking relation, you genius. So let's go ahead and play this clip, guys. Oh, even right here, even the readers on X put a note right here saying it's not that Jeffrey Epstein. But anyway, let's play it. I got to open it up over here. Here we go. On X.
Folks who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio. I just want to be clear. If this is the standard that we're going to make, just know we're going to expose it all. And just know that the FEC filings, they are available for everybody to review. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, right there, guys. This woman thinks you're stupid. She really does think you're stupid, folks. Absolutely amazing. And look here, they make a point right here as well. Look here, this comment here, Rep. Jasmine Crockett. Imagine, if you will, a world in which more than one person has the same name. And so I'm assuming this is like a Facebook here that they're showing, where you have a list of people named Jasmine Crockett. Yeah. Good point right there, man. Very, very good point. A whole bunch of Jasmine Crockett's, just like there's probably a bunch of Jeffrey Epstein's. But over here on CNN right here, she's actually going to defend pushing this lie to the people. Let's listen to this clip, guys. Here we go.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies.
Wow. Wow. This is bad. She went out there and she told lies. Now, I want to see if I can actually find an extended clip here of Jasmine Crockett and Caitlin Collins right here. I'm very curious if we actually can find that right here. Yeah, here's a bigger, more extensive clip.
It's the Virgin Islands. She was texting with Jeffrey Epstein the day of Michael Cohen's hearing. Her questions pretty closely followed the text messages between the two of them to ask about Rona Graff, Trump's longtime assistant. You were defending her today, or in recent days, yesterday, and you talked about Republicans taking money from a Jeffrey Epstein. Here's what you said.
Who also took money from somebody named Jeffrey Epstein, as I had my team dig in very quickly. Mitt Romney, the NRCC, Lee Zeldin, George Bush, Win Red, McCain Palin, Rick Lazio.
You mentioned Lee Zeldin there. He's now a cabinet secretary. He responded and said it was actually Dr. Jeffrey Epstein, who's a doctor that doesn't have any relation to the convicted sex trafficker. Unfortunate for that doctor, but that is who donated to a prior campaign of his. Do you want to correct the record on the people that?
Listen, I never said that it was that Jeffrey Epstein. Just so that people understand, when you make a donation, your picture is not there. And because they decided to spring this on us in real time, I wanted the Republicans to think about what could potentially happen, because I knew that they didn't even try to go through the FEC. So my team, what they did is they Googled. And that is specifically why I said a Jeffrey Epstein. Unlike Republicans, I at least don't go out and just tell lies. Because it was not the same one, that's fine. But when Lee Zeldin had something to say, all he had to say was it was a different Jeffrey Epstein. He admitted that he did receive donations from a Jeffrey Epstein, so at least I wasn't trying to mislead people.
Yes, you were. You were definitely trying to mislead people. You knew that was not that Jeffrey Epstein. You knew that.
Now, have I dug in to find out who this doctor is? I have not. So I will trust and take what he says is that it wasn't that Jeffrey Epstein, but I was not attempting to mislead anybody. I literally had maybe 20 minutes before I had to do that debate.
Yeah, but people might see that and say, well, you're trying to make it sound like he took money from
I did not know.
A registered sex offender.
No, but I literally did not know. When you search FEC files, and that's what I had my team to do, I texted them and I said, listen, we're going up. They are saying that she took donations.
Right, but someone might say, well, your team should have done the homework to make sure it wasn't the convicted sex trafficker.
Within 20 minutes, you could not find that out, not from just doing a quick search on FEC. So number one, I made sure that I was clear that it was a Jeffrey Epstein, but I never said that it was specifically that Jeffrey Epstein, because I knew that we would need more time to really dig in.
Well, Stacey Plaskett was texting the Jeffrey Epstein that we're all talking about. You voted against the censure for her to remove her from her committees. You know, we pressed the minority leader, Hakeem Jeffries, on this last night. Maybe you don't think she should be removed from her committees. But why do so many Democrats seem unwilling to say it's inappropriate to be texting with a registered sex offender about what you're going to ask a witness at a congressional hearing?
So I'm not going to necessarily say that that's the case. Now, this is somebody that was a former prosecutor. Now, I haven't sat down and talked about all the specifics of why Stacey was doing what she was doing. I know that when she got up and she spoke, she talked about the fact that this is one of her constituents. At the end of the day, what I know of prosecutors is that they are typically talking to co-defendants. They are typically talking to the people that have the best information. And what you had was you had the former attorney for the president that was sitting there. And honestly, we knew, or she knew, or at least Jeffrey Epstein presented, that he was very cozy with the president. He had more information, registered sex offender or not. The bigger question is, why is it that the president was so cozy with a registered sex offender even after he ultimately ended up with some of his convictions? And seemingly, he had absolutely been on the plane with him. We know about the birthday card.
That's a lie.
The bigger question is, why is the president of the United States not the one that is in the hot seat for his relationship, instead of us saying, oh, you know what, we're going to take her off of her committee because he decided to text her. Stacey didn't initiate that chain. Jeffrey initiated that chain, and she took the information. Just like if somebody texts me.
Yeah, but she was responding and saying, you know, what are you talking about? Quick, I'm up next. And then her questions were about Rona. But do you think that was inappropriate? I mean, would you text with someone who is a registered sex offender about what you should ask?
I honestly know that he had never been convicted of any federal crimes at that time.
But he had been in jail already.
He had been in jail. Deal. And my deal is this. The Republicans are constantly texting with a 34-count convicted felon. So if it's okay for them to text him at any point in time, then I'm not going to say that that's right or wrong, especially to the extent that you're talking about kicking someone off their committee. Were they sexting? Was it a matter of her being involved in the pedophilia? No, it was nothing like that. She was trying to understand. Let's say Jeffrey Epstein said, you know what, I have these pictures, these salacious pictures, because I know that the president got down and did these things. Do you think that it would be inappropriate for her to ask about those things if he said he had personal knowledge?
I think the context matters, but obviously it seemed like he was helping her. But I do want to ask you.
Yeah, wow. This is really bad, man. This is really bad for Jasmine Crockett. I mean, Jasmine Crockett, boy, yeah, run her, Democrats. Please run her. This woman is a disaster and a complete liar. That's unbelievable, man. She knew exactly what she was doing. She was trying to insinuate that Lee Zeldin took money from that Jeffrey Epstein. And she knew it, man. That was a bald-faced lie. Why even bring it up? One thing, Jeffrey Epstein was already dead. How can he actually donate to Lee Zeldin if he's already dead? This woman knew exactly what she was doing, man. Wow. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you next time.